Hello again, Andy with HandyANDYHome.com and Handy Andy Handyman. Welcome back to another run through, and this one once again is an inspection repair that we're doing on an awesome kind of Victorian style home over in the Alpharetta area. Gorgeous, gorgeous home. I mean, if you like older type properties that were built newer, this is the home for you. But the inspector came out and we've got some siding issues on this house. And so what you see a lot of times with houses like this, it looks pretty good, and the homeowner here really tried to keep up on the painting. It looks like they've mostly hand painted, but the contractors cheated on the caulk a little bit. And when you've got a manufactured siding like this, it's gonna rot. And so it's hard to see it in the light here, but we're at the left front corner of the house, and you can see where it's chewed up in this area right here. Those are the obvious areas, but there's a lot of swelling in the siding all the way through, and you can see the nail holes here. You can see how it's pulled up. And what you won't see is if I put my finger underneath here like the inspectors do, I can lift this siding up in 7 or 8 layers. And you can get a kind of a better feel for it. You can see how rotted it is right here where this trim piece wasn't flashed against the siding. So at this front section of the siding, we're really looking at from the bottom edge down here all the way up to 1 or 2 rows above this window trim right here. So you're looking at about 20, 22 rows at the front that need to be replaced. The rest of it, because it's a little more protected under the eaves and the gables up here, is still fine. We'll have different pieces of trim. There's not a lot of rotted trim on the house, but here what ended up happening is the woodpeckers, and this is how you always connect this stuff up. The siding rotted in this corner right here. We're at the left side of the garage right here. You see how it's curved in right here, and see how soft it is? Same thing here. See this edge? This is what I'm talking about. See how soft that is? So I can literally break up all this stuff. You can see what's happened here, how it's broken away. So this is an LP type siding. So this isn't a cardboard siding. This is a 7-layer wood chip and glue siding. You can see it right here in this pattern. And so what happened is this piece has been catching water for a while up top. And so it's rotted down through a lot of this corner board right here. And so once the woodpeckers hear the insect activity here, they start pecking and they realize, oh, I can make a home. So a little woodpecker made himself a house right there. You can see he actually ate through into the corner board. So this has been puttied before. You can see the putty right here, but it rotted out above it. So last time they painted, that's what they did. So we'll replace this piece all the way down. And again, down here, you can see where they patched a cut in right here. This is a new board. And you can see where they made a horizontal cut. So what ended up happening is, see the rod above? This is all, I can push my finger through it. So because they made a horizontal cut instead of an angle cut like we make, the water gets trapped and it rots the wood further up and then further down again. So that's the repairs in this little corner right here. Most of the siding, honestly, in this house, this homeowner was told that she needs to replace all of her siding, and that's not the case. The bulk of the siding is in great shape. What you're looking for is when you start to see 7 lines at the edge of the siding underneath, then it's time to change your siding. And we call it 7 lines of degradation. And when it happens, you just have to replace the board. But just because you have manufactured siding, if it's been painted well, like this house has been incredibly well painted over its 20-year life or however old this house is, so most of the siding is great. When you get into corners like here, this corner wasn't caulked real well, so we'll go ahead and caulk it. But then you've got some rot, these 2 or 3 boards right here in this left corner to the left of the front laundry room. And then again, in front of the laundry room, you'll see a carpenter ant just came out of the bottom edge of the siding. See him running up the camera may not pick it up. But you're basically replacing these bottom 5 rows right here, and you can see where they're chipped up. So you see when you start getting into stuff like this, where it's shot. There's nothing you can do about it. See the rip here? So we'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5. We usually go 1 more beyond the damage area because we're going to damage the row above it while we're trying to fix it. And so that'll pull that together pretty well. The inspector noted up here above this front porch, the bottom 2 rows all the way around. And the camera may not show it real well, but as you get into this area over here, like under the window, you'll see how ripped up that is. So this is smooth hardy plank. This is smooth LP, but we'll come back with smooth hardy plank. On this issue over here, where the siding's hitting the roof line, this needs to be about an inch gap clear all the way up through. You can see they've got it sitting right on the roof line. And probably actually what's happened here is this is a newer roof, so they probably overlaid the old roof, and that filled up the gap that was there, because I doubt very much that this siding was right on the roof like that before. So our carpenters will come through and they'll cut a 1-inch cut, and it's hard to do it. It really is a pain in the butt to do that part of the job, but you really do need to do it, because otherwise it's trapping water in there and it's rotting out your siding and your framing and everything else. But we do this stuff all the time, so it's kind of interesting to see a house like this. This is a beautiful home, but I mean, all these houses have issues. If you came to my house right now, there'd be things that need to be fixed, and the inspector's gonna find it. It just is what it is. This side of the house stays a little darker over here. We'd like to get these tree limbs trimmed back away for her. You're not gonna be able to see it in the video real well. We need to caulk this line along the chimney and repaint that chimney board. I can't tell from the ground if it's rotted or not, so the boys will check it while they're here, this piece on either side of the chimney. But at the very least, we need to caulk it and paint it so the inspector's eyes aren't going to it. When you walk around your house, the inspector's gonna do the same thing. We're looking for black. So anywhere you see black, it's a void in the caulk, it's rotted wood, it's mold, it's mildew, it's rot, it's something bad, and it draws your attention, you wanna fix it. This side of the house is in pretty good shape. Excuse me, there's a little bit of swelling between these rows over here. And I can't tell in this light how they wanna do it, but on the right side of this house, there's probably 8 to 10 rows of siding between these two windows on this floor that really need to be replaced. And you can kind of see it when you look at the edges. I don't know how well the camera's gonna see it, but see the darker shadows in these lines? That's showing as it gets darker, it's getting thicker, which means the siding has spread. So you're looking for uniformity, and if you can do that, you're in pretty good shape. Now this piece right here, we might go ahead and let that go, because on this side of the house, an inspector might not see it. It's hard for us to see it as we're walking around the house, so we may let that one go until she gets a full contract on the house again. But go ahead and get the worst ones done, and then she's not gonna have to bother with it anymore. She's got a lot of deck space back here in this brickwork. You gotta be careful with this kind of stuff because it can lead to run into the house. When you build this stuff, if you're not keeping it clean underneath, water's gonna seep under the deck and get up against the house. At the back side here, we're basically looking at all this siding from here up to the bottom of this window, up over the cut to that one top board above that rear bay. That is all shot and needs to be replaced. You can see it just in the nail hole. So if I pick this stuff apart, the nails haven't moved, the siding has. And the thing is, when you talk to inspectors, they'll do the same thing. They'll just put a knife and see this starting to move. I don't know if the camera can see it. It's moving underneath my finger, and I don't want to start chipping it all up until we're ready to do the work. But that's the problem with this type of siding. And in these areas, and you see the brush, the reason this siding is in great a shape as it is, this homeowner paid to hand paint this house. You can see all the brush strokes. I don't know if it'll come out in the camera very well, probably not. But this has all been hand painted by somebody else over the years. Otherwise, all the siding would be shot. But you see when you get up into this area up here, the camera may not pick it up very well, but there's all the lines. You see the difference in the thickness as you go across these boards. See how thick some of it is? Like here, and here, and here. That's what the inspectors are looking for. They're looking for that thickness in the edge, and that's the rot in your siding. And the thing that stinks about this type of siding is that even if you do a bang up job and maintaining it and painting it over the years, is that it's taking moisture from the inside out. So when it's, 100 degrees outside here in Atlanta, 90 degrees outside, the sun on this siding, it's 140, 145 degrees on that siding face, but the inside of that house is 70 degrees. You're gonna have condensation form on the inside edge of that siding. So even if you did a bang up job on the outside, gradually over time, this siding is gonna deteriorate and some of it's gonna rot. But what we like to propose for owners like this, or even the buyers of this house, if this was my house, I wouldn't replace all the siding. I just piece in what I need to do. This side right over here, perfect. Everything up above the roof line looks good. Everything at the back of the house looks good. We got 2 rows in here that probably just got wet because we got a sprinkler head in here. So these bottom 2 or 3 rows right in this piece right behind the rear living room to the left of the garage. All this siding in here is good. And everything on the left side of the house over here is good because it's fairly protected in here, except for a few rows under this meter over here. And you'll see that in a second. You got up 3 rows right here on this side. If I can get in closer, actually 4 rows. You see the shadow? I don't know how well you can see it. See the shadowing right here? That's where it's separating. See it moving under my fingers right there? So it's really 1, 2, 3, 4 rows on this side, and then the rest of the house is in pretty good shape. It's actually the 5th row. If you go over here, there's 1 more right here. See that right there? That's what they're looking for. So if you're getting your house ready for sale, or you got it under contract, or whatever you have going on it, get an inspection report and send it our way. You can catch us right there, email it to us. get us on the phone, text us, call us, 770-912-2829. Been doing this stuff for a long time in Metro Atlanta. We got a nice crew of guys. My brother and I are both fourth generation contractors. We do a little bit of everything. Happy to help you out any way that we can. Again, I'm Andy, HandyANDYHome.com. See you at the next house. Bye for now.